So I want to talk about the Giving Pledge, which is a pledge that was made in 2010 by 62 of the wealthiest people in the world, of the biggest billionaires in the world, to give away at least half of their wealth to charitable causes. And it was founded by Bill Gates, who's kind of the exemplar of all this, and he's done more to help society than anybody in human history, is a common narrative that you might have heard if you listen to mainstream media outlets, because he's given away more to charitable causes than anybody ever. And so that was in 2010 that this started. They were going to give away half of their money. Well, it's come out that instead of giving away half of their money, the net wealth for those 62 people has gone from $396 billion to $734 billion, almost doubling. So it's increased by 95% in that time period, which I think is kind of illustrative of kind of the ruling class in general and how society's been operating also. Because when you have tens of billions of dollars, you know, another mansion doesn't quite do it for you. A 14th Lamborghini isn't quite what the fourth one was, and so you need to feed your hedonistic desires through other means. And what better way than through public praise? But for whatever reason, the public is kind of frustrated at billionaires like just hoarding all of their money, and so the way that they receive value and utility these days isn't through getting more money, but it's rather through giving their money away. And so that's what the Giving Pledge came in for, except for they found a loophole. And it's like, what's better than getting credit for giving away your money is getting credit for giving away your money while keeping your money and doubling your money. And so they've got and so that's what they've been doing. Bill Gates himself is actually he's gotten credit for that. His money has tripled. When he made the Giving Pledge, it's gone from he had about $50 billion in wealth, or just under it, and now he has about just under $150 billion in wealth. So he's gotten credit for helping people more than anyone in history, has tripled his money, but still didn't get quite enough credit for it. And so what he did is he's getting a divorce with Melinda Gates, which is probably the one thing that's going to get him to give away his money. The one charitable donation he's going to give to Melinda. And it came out, unfortunately, her lawyers leaked that one of the reasons they're getting divorced is because he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein too much. And the reason that came out that was kind of in defense of him for doing it is that he was doing it not for the bad reasons, not because he was a child sex trafficking pedophile, even though when Bill was hanging out with him, it was after he was already convicted. Same with most of the people that were hanging out with Jeffrey. They all knew that he was convicted for being a child sex trafficking pedophile, but they still wanted to hang out with him, kind of an indictment of the ruling class. But the reason that Bill was doing it, allegedly, is that he just wanted to get the Nobel Peace Prize. So he was hanging out because Jeffrey knew the head of the Nobel Peace Prize committee, because of course he did. And so what Bill wants is to have $150 billion, check, get credit for giving away all of your money, check, get more credit by getting the Nobel Peace Prize, check. So that's what and also not pay any taxes. So it just came out, I didn't see Bill Gates on this, but there was just a ProPublica article that was published that the 25 richest people in the world pay an actual tax rate on the additions to their wealth, of between 0.1 and 3.5%. So, and I think the lowest marginal tax rate is about 10% for people, for the poorest people in the world. So that's what, and the reason that is for a bunch of reasons. They have an army of lawyers, and tax laws are written away that there are tons of loopholes for rich people. In many years, Jeff Bezos paid zero in tax. One year, Jeff Bezos got a $4,000 tax return, even though his wealth increased by billions of dollars. Warren Buffett, who's the other main signatory of the Giving Pledge, his wealth has increased by tens of billions of dollars in that time as well, and his tax rate is 0.1%, which is almost funnier than if his tax rate was 0%. 0.1%, that is pretty good. And the reason that it's for a ton of different reasons, but the main one is because billionaires don't get their money from income. They don't have salaries of hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and income is usually what's taxed. They get their wealth from increases in stock, getting more stocks, and the stock price increasing. And there's not a taxable event unless they cash out those stocks. And so one of the things they'll do is they'll just hold on to their stocks forever, never have them ever taxed, but their wealth continues to go up, and then just borrow against the value of their stocks because they have assets, so they borrow against the value of those assets, and then they get loans, and then they use those loans, which are not taxed. So they're not paying any taxes. And so these people They've done the Given Pledge. Many of them are retired. They're full-time philanthropists, and they're full-time philanthropists. They're presumably like the hardest working, smartest people in society. This is what the meritocracy of American capitalist propaganda will tell you. And they somehow, so they're working full-time to give away all their money, and instead they figured out how to double their wealth during that time, get credit for giving away all of their money, and also not pay any taxes. And so I think that's a good synopsis of American political culture with respect to powerful financial elites, which tend to run everything and are extreme narcissists. And it's more of an indictment, more so on than on Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett or any one individual that's that wealthy. It's more of an indictment on the system that we've allowed this to happen, and really the only way to undermine it is through people to democratically utilize their votes and pressure their legislators to change that, to change the tax laws, to make sure that maybe like people that are worth tens of billions of dollars should be paying more than their secretaries.